All right, let's get started, guys.
Yeah, so here's Dmitry.
Dmitry.
Oh, look at, I'm all nervous.
Dmitry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm glad that you guys came over and we can do some work here. And the technique that I'm going to demonstrate is a mixed medium, water medium. So what I do, I use rice paper. That the brand name is Masa, M-A-S-A. And that's how it looks like. Very thin paper that comes in size 32 by 20. And you can buy a package of like 25 pages from Blick Art Supplies. And what I do, I paint it up in colors, different colors, and just for collage. And have a bunch of colors. I have a huge portfolio of colors. Yes. And in this case, I actually use a full sheet, 32 by 20 of rice paper, and I painted up all of these colors on it on wet surface. So when you do that, you have to keep your rice paper wet, put it over the wet rug, and spray it over. Sprinkle with the water.
Put it over what?
Wet rug or wet cloth.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, keep it wet, keep it moist. And then using soft brush, I use like two inches wide brush, and I just paint all of the colors across on wet, sometimes tilting, let them mingle together. And the difficult part in this case is to glue it well to the substrate or backing paper. In order to do that, I use a wallpaper glue, regular wallpaper glue from Home Depot. And in order to cover it up without creating any wrinkles, you have to do it slowly, starting on the bottom, put the glue down, press the paper, and sort of flatten it, or throwing all of the air bubbles away, and gradually moving up by little, slowly. This way, you would be able to cover it up well without creating any wrinkles. So it's going to be flat.
So do you do that horizontal or vertical, like you have it now?
Flat on the table, because it's easier. You put it down and just kind of gradually flattening it up all the way up to the top. And also, before anything else, I draw the image on another paper. I drew it, and then using transferring paper, I transfer it into that background. So you can still see the lines that I'm going to paint with acrylics. Right now, everything else is done in watercolor so far. And the rest I will do in acrylic. And this is my acrylic palette. It's a wet palette that has a sponge on it and the disposable paper palette. And all of the colors are here. So that keeps the paint workable for several weeks if you do that. And the lid protects it of the air getting in. So here.
Once you painted your pattern, then you lay down.
No. Oh, I painted the pattern flat, yes.
And
because
then lay
I use a lot of liquid, yeah.
Then you let it dry, then you lay down the image.
Yeah. Yeah. So I do it flat, definitely, because otherwise it's all gonna run.
Oh, yeah.
So this way I keep the paint in place. So, and here are my brushes and water. Okay. Let me move it on this side.
Yeah, you want to be comfortable.
I want to be comfortable, and I need the palette certain way, because if I turned it around, I couldn't find anything on it. And the image is on myself. So image is helping me to control the colors. Actually, I saw this lady, this poodle on the lake, local lake, and it really caught my eye. She was wearing a red overcoat, and poodle had a pink tail.
Oh,
That caught my attention. So I thought that's a great subject to paint. All right. And I'm probably gonna start from her coat. It's a bright, intense red color code. So, see, because everything prepared, I'm gonna use heavy acrylic and I'm gonna kind of block all of these colors that are already there. I have to use the paint heavy coat mixed with white and other colors. Okay, looking for my best brush for that area. So it's a little bit too small. Let me get some bit larger. Okay. And this is a red coat. And on the light side, the left side is on the lid. It's really warm, kind of orange red. Getting into the shade on the right side, it gets darker and a bit cooler. So I'm gonna start from that orange red. So I use a little bit of liquid, starting from white, load a lot of white, load yellow. I have a cadmium yellow dip, and I have cadmium red light. Mixing them all three together. I'm gonna try to put it on and see if I need to get it lighter. Yeah, something like that. This is my light color. And I like to get it as intense as it's supposed to be right away. Maybe if I'm lucky, it's gonna stay. If not, I'm gonna go back and cover it up again. You know, on the palette, colors look certain way. When you put it on your painting, they change. So you need to mix it directly on your canvas or paper.
And you're starting with acrylic? Is that acrylic or is that watercolor?
This is acrylic.
Okay.
Over watercolor.
Over watercolor. Okay,
Yes.
got it.
Because the thing is, I need to block this green. That only acrylic would do that. Watercolor is transparent. You can't really go red over green. So, and I'm carefully peeling up all of the shapes that I drew. And using really heavy tools. I can even go a little stronger. So I'm still adjusting. You know, it takes probably half an hour to get completely adjusted to the painting. You're just testing everything out when you get started. And that's her food. So the red color will go there. This lady was really into her cell phone, checking the images, messages, or texting somebody. She didn't even notice me taking a picture of her.
Oblivious.
A lot of people are really into checking the cell phone. All right. This is a basic tone. Then the color gets a little darker here over the front of her coat. I'm gonna add a little bit of cadmium red dark to the same color that I have on my eye to get it a bit darker. Maybe I can use a little bit of burnt sienna also up here. You know what you're avoiding from the painting? If the tone really following into the background, it has to go darker or lighter. So I feel like it's a little bit to the same. So I'm just gonna go a bit darker. Adding a little bit of burnt sienna over that red. Oh. Like that. Okay. Then I'm gonna rinse the brush. Got my paper towels somewhere. You know, I started as oil painter, and acrylic kind of reminds me of oil a little bit. Very similar technique. You're using a lot of paint, sometimes building the texture. So, all right, I'm gonna continue painting that light color, orange red. I believe that color would make a big impact on the entire painting. Because red color is so powerful. Definitely it's gonna be a focal point on the painting. All right. Any questions, please? Go ahead. If you have any, ask me.
I have one question.
Okay.
What did you use to transfer the image? What type of,
It's a transferring paper that comes in roll.
it's not carbon paper.
No. It's
So-
carbon paper is a little bit too dark. No, it's a specifically for art use, transferring paper. It
Okay.
comes in gray, sometimes in yellow,
Okay.
so different colors.
Is that Sorrel?
As a brand, but possibly, I don't remember, but it comes in roll
Yeah,
and about, I don't know, 20 feet long roll, about 3 feet wide, quite big roll.
ooh,
Yeah.
So it makes
It
a
also
light,
comes in sheets too.
yes,
30 by 30 inches, something.
yeah.
But I do have a roll. And you can get it in any art supply store or on Amazon.
and you trace over it, you just lay it down and.
You
draw.
put it down, kind of glossy side down,
Okay.
matte side up.
Something
Trace
like
it right. So this way you're not gonna really work on your paper and damaging your paper. So no erasing, nothing. So you just paint that. Okay, so here's this red orange color that I'm working on. Kind of ended up almost without white, just using yellow and red mixed together. I want it really bright and intense. Another thing what I didn't mention, if you notice there is some kind of printing on the painting, I do have a bunch of stamps or templates.
Stencils.
Stencils, yes. There are all kinds. I'm collecting them. Wherever I see them, I'm collecting them and then using for printing into my painting.
I like, it reminds me of silk screen.
Pretty much.
You get like the what silk screen will give you.
Yeah. I do like kind of printing technique, monotype, all this kind. And this is sort of reminds me of them when I do that. Yeah, so this is the part on the lid. So now I'm gonna move into the shade and I'm gonna darken it up. One thing I kind of worried about that little bit too dark, that tone, I'm gonna paint it over. That's a good thing about working with acrylics. If you don't like something, you can go on and paint it over. Unlike watercolor. Right? Watercolor, you have to be really careful about painting over. I believe watercolor takes a lot of control. You're becoming a control freak. But until you become a kind of a master, you can do anything. Like one of my friends, he was saying that the rules written only for beginners, right? If you're a master or experienced, you're not following the rules. Okay, so now I'm gonna get into the shade using the same brush and filling it up with crimson, alizarin crimson, and maybe burnt sienna. See, alizarin crimson is kind of a little cooler red. I don't know how Guy does it, but I start slowly.
Oh, me too.
It takes 20, 30 minutes until you get kind of comfortable and start really speeding up a little bit. But at the beginning, you're really slow. Yeah, this is the color. That's starting point. And there are shadows, but I will paint them up later. So right now I'm just preparing basic colors. And it's a fabric, it creates some foldings. And you know, in this case, I'm painting heavy, but sometimes you could use glazes. If the color allowed you to use glazes, you can do that. And also what I kind of follow in my painting, it's a temperature, changing the temperature. It's really warm color of the light. Then it gets a bit cooler on the border, and then it gets a little warmer again. So it's kind of alternating. Cool to warm. Okay. See here, I can use a little bit of glazing because this color is dark and it's going to cover it up. So I'm not using a lot of paint, a little bit less paint, more liquid, and just glaze it over. Maybe that's the work. If not, I can go heavier over it. And right on the right edge, I'm gonna use a little bit warmer and lighter color again. So back to kind of orangey color, orange red, right over the edge. This is the kind of reflection of the right edge.
Do you periodically take pictures of what you're working on with my phone?
In process?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you like. Why not? Let's do whatever you want.
It will also be uploaded to YouTube. Oh, good. Okay, I'll look for it. Didn't want to get my phone. Yeah, good idea. Then I did. That's perfect.
Yeah, so now you could be here.
I don't need pictures.
Yeah.
I remember I was watching previous artists who demonstrate in SWA. And he showed the slides of his paintings in progress and commented. So he didn't paint. Did you see that one? Previous guy who demonstrated at the gallery. He showed the slides of his paintings in progress. Yeah.
So he wasn't painting?
No.
Okay.
He was explaining step by step how he.
Yeah, he was a teacher, so.
And it was interesting. Now, what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna paint really dark shade area. So there's no white, I just use a burnt sienna and a little bit of crimson. And right to show the arm.
Ooh, yeah.
Up here. That's under the hood. This is the darkest part of the shadow. And then it gets a bit lighter down here. And I'm using crimson because crimson is kind of cooler red. And this is the darkest part. Then it sort of blends in with existing color. So I'm just gonna smudge that edge. A little bit softening out the edge. Okay. Now I'm gonna slowly move up. I'm not 100% finished the coat. I prepared it. I like to prepare everything before finishing up. Now I'm gonna take a bit smaller brush and paint for color of the coat, and it's a kind of lavender color. So I'm gonna mix crimson and a little bit of cobalt blue. A little bit of cadmium red dark. Here's your color. It has to go a bit darker, get a little bit more of cobalt. Yeah, I can see my painting on the screen.
Yeah.
Erica,
Yeah.
I can see it. You know, when I paint, I usually stepping back.
Right.
But
That-
here, you get
Yeah, you don't have to step that far.
That's so cool. Technology is making it so easy. Okay, this is her color. And part of it is on highlight. You know, there is a kind of a late sunset. And the light is really bright on the left. So I'm gonna get it a really bright highlight for the color. And it's going to be a warmer color. Because the shade is cool. So I'm gonna use cadmium red light, maybe a little bit of magenta, pink magenta, and white. Just a bit of yellow. Not bright enough, so I will get more, a little more bright colors into it. Yeah, like that. This is part of it. 5 minutes.
So where did you see this woman with her poodle?
On the lake, local lake. It's a New York lake.
Okay.
Familiar, small lake. And she's probably living in that neighborhood. You know, a lot of people with dogs up there. Yeah, walking their dogs. And I learned in my experience that asking people to take a picture never happened positively. People say, please don't. Go away. In fact,
I'm not ready for my close-up.
in fact, I was walking over the lake and I saw Bounce House. They had a birthday, little kids and parents. And I took a picture of Bounce House. That lady starts shouting across the field. I was far.
Oh.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Right.
I said, what's wrong? She said, there are minors here. Shouldn't take a picture of them. I barely saw minors. I saw a bounce house.
Yeah.
She was chasing me,
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
shouting, yelling.
You're lucky you didn't end up on TV or the
My
news.
my wife-
Instagram or next
My
door.
wife checked the network. She thought they put it on neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, they did?
Oh, my goodness.
No, they didn't.
Oh.
They didn't, oh, they did.
But see, I usually not asking, but this time I was caught.
And how did you choose that pattern? Your background? pattern, was that
It's
just-
an abstraction. I just played with colors and shapes.
Okay.
Abstracted. It's a real landscape, but it was kind of boring to follow. There's a fence and a
Yes.
sidewalk and pavement.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Nothing special.
It
So
really makes it creative.
I like to abstract it a little bit. And if you look at other my paintings, I always abstracting the background. See,
Oh, yeah, okay. I
I'm
see
not
that.
really copying it as it is. Keeps me a little bit more interested in project.
Mhm.
All right, so now she has a white hair. So that's gonna be fun. But maybe I will paint her face first because the hair is already light, so I don't need really a lot to do. So let me paint her face. She's wearing eyeglasses. And she's Caucasian, white skinned lady. So I'm just gonna start with white, a little bit of Rossian. That's a kind of starter color. And a little bit of pink. You know, I do have that Vanacradon pink. Yeah, a little bit of that color. You know, everybody has a bit different skin tone. You can't use the same color in two different people. So trying to get her skin tone. Now I get better to use yellow ochre. Yeah. Yellow ochre is just probably one of the best colors for the skin tone.
Did you say Rosia? What was it?
Rossian. Rossian.
Rossian.
Sienna, got it.
Rossian.
Okay, I got that. Okay.
It's a nice color, Rossian. But I started from yellow ochre. That's from nose. Then on the cheeks, I could move into Rossian, a little bit of pink. You know, I have kind of 4 different red colors, and I'm choosing which one would work better for the area. Yeah. Back to ochre. Ochre probably is the best color. This is the part of the face that I'm made. I'm gonna give her some blush on her cheek. It's a little bit too pale. So getting a little bit of pink orange, little bit of cheek. Okay. And this is really warm color. So the ear and the rest of the face is in the shade. I'm just going to darken it up. And you know that the eye socket up here, I'm gonna darken it up a little bit. You know, if I need the skin tone and the shades, what I do, I'm using yellow ochre and a little bit of raw umber together. What it does, it makes the color a bit cooler and dark. So this white, of course, it's still light skin. Right here, that's very nice second. Russian and a little bit of yellow. You know, another thing about acrylic, it dries darker. Sometimes you paint on lighter, knowing that it's going to be darker anyway. You don't want it too dark, so maybe I'm gonna mark up the eye too, just the lashes. She's looking down, you don't see the open eye, but you see just the lashes. A little darker, it's not showing enough. So I just get a little bit more of raw umber. My palette is very simple. I don't have too many fancy colors. Basically, bunch of earth colors. And this is a suggestion of the eyebrow. Just a touch. Good God, there. All right. All right. As I said, she's wearing eyeglasses. So. What I really like to paint is a hair. The hair is my favorite part of the portraiture because you can get loose and you can use a broad or brush strokes. But I'm leaving it for later. It's going to be a kind of relaxation time.
Yes, the dessert.
Painting the hair is a lot of fun. Usually I start from the hair because it's kind of warming you up and getting you into the painting. But here's a demo. I'm a little bit too uptight.
So do you usually paint how you're standing, or are you usually in front of the
sitting?
Yeah.
At home I'm painting.
Yeah, because
sitting.
I'm seeing you're twisting this way and
yeah,
I'm my back.
Yeah,
I feel like, oh no.
Look, you know, an ideal position for me would be standing right in front.
Right.
But I cannot lock you.
Right, not ideal for us.
But that's okay. And I told you that one of my students complained in the class. She said, "Oh, what we see your back. We don't see really what you're doing." Because they don't have that equipment.
But
Just
painting something like that, I would think you'd have to be sometimes standing like that.
Okay, so now I'm gonna get the shade side of the face, and it's gonna get a little cooler. You know, I still have my color that I used on the light side. I'm just gonna add just a bit of cooler tone, maybe crimson, alizarin crimson, maybe even drop of blue, cobalt, just to get color a bit cooler. How do you paint, Guy? Usually.
I usually block things in.
But flat?
Flat.
Okay.
And yeah. So I'm sitting down, looking down at everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's for watercolor.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a shade, it's darker, it's just a bit of color. It's a little bit too far, I went too far, I'm gonna get back. Back to ink. Including the neck. Yeah, if you got that equipment that you can paint flat, but the viewers will see it on the screen, right?
Yeah.
That's a good solution. You know, I'm a member of Fremont Art Association, and they do have a mirror above the table, mirror facing the viewers.
Right.
That's simple way without any computers.
I don't like them because if you're doing a workshop, if the people are following along, it's a reverse
mirror
image.
view.
So yeah, mirror of the image you're going to be painting.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a big one. Yeah, you had to clamp it down to tables. And...
Maybe scientists could create a mirror that's not going to show mirror.
Yeah, how do you do that?
Reverse view.
Yeah.
You know, with the technology, I think it's possible.
Yeah, the mirror in mirror.
Yeah, right.
Okay, think only the ears. Her ear is a little bit heavy, a little bit more orangey color. So let me mark her ear, then I can go for the hair. I can't wait. Yeah, always. I would like to see the paintings of hair, other artists' paintings of hair. It's just so cool. My favorite subjects on portraits, it's the hair and the beard. If man is the beard, it's a lot of fun to paint. Long beard. It's now fashionable again, right?
Yes.
A lot of young people.
Yeah.
Wearing the beard. The fashion goes back and forth. From the history, there is a Peter the Great, one of the czars, Russian czars. First, when he came to the power, he was kind of a revolutionary czar. He ordered all the men to shave the beards off. All of them. It was an old fashioned. Said no. He was looking at European style.
Yeah.
He actually opened the window to Europe first after many czars. Great guy. Let's call it down for now. I'm gonna, okay. A small thing I have to do, you know, whereas her glasses are, I need to darken it up a little bit to see the shape of the eye. Because you don't see it until I will darken it up a little bit inside of the eye. And now you can see it. Now the frame for the glasses. You know, I do have a brush that is about number 0. I'm gonna use that brush to mark the frame glasses using burnt CM. And this is the frame, actually, the frame for the glasses. And a little bit of highlight on the side of the frame. Good thing about acrylic, I can put my finger on paint, it's already dry. I don't need to worry about it. It dries in 5 minutes. Watercolor, you have to be really careful. I was watching demo of one watercolor artist. He does demos full sheet demos. 2 hours he finishes. His last name Lieutenant. Lieutenant, yeah.
Dale?
Dale.
Yeah.
You saw it.
Yeah.
He was constantly touching his paint, testing
Yeah.
dry.
Yeah.
Is it dry or wet? All the time. For him, it's so important. All right, let's get to the hair. Now I can take a big brush, bit larger brush. Yeah. And again, temperature-wise, it's really warm on the left and a little cooler on the right. And definitely I have to load it because it's blue right now, pale blue. So I get a lot of white, tons of white paint, a little bit of ochre, yellow, to keep it warm. Do you like his paintings? Good.
Dale Lakeman?
Yeah. Great paintings. He's a landscaper.
Mm-hmm.
And he uses big brushes. Inch or 2 inches. I like his stuff. I saw a couple of his demos.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got
What
a
a
lot of
difference.
white. Yes, and I'm not really hiding the brush strokes and painting heavy. To show some loose here, I'll probably take a smaller brush. First, I want to prepare the whole thing.
Is there much forgiveness if you put down a color and you don't like it with acrylic?
Yeah, you can paint over, or you can turn it back to white.
Okay.
Acrylic is a heavy, heavy paint. A lot of forgiveness. One of the reasons many people using gouache or acrylic as make changes easily. I'm not convincing you to move in acrylic. Do what talks to you, what appeals to you. Okay, so this is the warm part, and then on the right side, it's in the shade. Actually, I do have really good color as it is.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just gonna leave it. And just get a little bit of the reflection on the side.
Is that a gray? What color was that?
It's a grayish, purplish tone, so
Oh.
a mixture of couple
Right.
of colors. Yeah, purplish gray. Okay,
And
so
that was all your watercolor.
this is watercolor.
Yeah.
But it's a mixture. In some places, I'm gonna leave it. I don't have to completely change. See, now I'm gonna get a little bit of cerulean blue mixed with white. A little bit of ochre. Ochre, yeah. Okay, and this shows the reflection on the right side, little bit lighter. Highlight. Sometimes I want to check from another side. Where am I going? Okay. And then somehow the nature played with this lady. Her hair down here is really dark. And just nature of her. And darken it up, some small portion of her hair is dark. All right, just gonna use raw umber. And guy is supposed to apologize. I wiped my brush off you.
Oh, no.
Well, my God, that is not mine. Sorry.
So, don't worry.
At home, I got everything contained. Yeah, better be careful. Down here. That's difficult. Would be fun if she would sit here and watch me painting her. That's lady.
Yeah, but you didn't ask.
I just could be an accident, coincidence. Coincidence. It never happens.
Yeah.
You know, it never happened to me that my models would come over and see the painting.
But it's fun to see her emerging. It's magical.
It's fun, yeah.
An accomplished artist, everything has a real distinct shape. It doesn't look flat. I mean, it's like you go hungry.
Yeah. But you know, the art is structural actually. If you kind of get that structure, you're always following it. And dimensions, it's a part of it. Absolutely. You're always looking for that. 3D check. And temperature of color is one of these components. And tonal values, another one. You kind of follow them, you'll be all right. Katrina is in my class. She's a painter. She's a really good painter herself.
Just beginning.
Have fun.
It is fun, yeah. I did a little bit in high school, did a little bit of silk screen, and then got into teaching my career, and I just didn't. I wish.
Yeah.
You can't worry that, but you wish.
Right.
You know.
You're doing it now.
Yeah. That was good.
Okay, so now I'm just gonna get a couple of strands of hair. So you know, the hair you can paint for hours, just a lot of fun. Okay, There's something else. She has a dark hair, right? On her temple down here. Little bit there. I have two brown colors on my palette. One is raw umber, another one is burnt umber. And I'm using them a lot for the skin tone, get shaded area. Okay, I want to darken it out little next here. And you know, to show loose hair, sometimes I'm using fan brush. Fan brush is good for that, but this is so small. I better use just a small brush and get a couple of hair kind of loose. Basically using white, little bit of ochre. Otherwise, it's so unreal to have it on screen for you. Yeah, it's always windy on the lake. Yeah, it always flies. Just not changing a lot, just adding up here and there. We'll see. Yes. Okay, let's move on. Maybe her hands holding the phone. Okay. Okay, like a pale orangey tan color for her fingers. Thumb. A bit of ochre and white for the palm. You see there.
Oh.
No, it's not that trick that you're afraid of. No, it just
Yeah.
wasn't pushing hard enough. You alerted me.
Yes.
But it seems like it's not gonna happen today.
Yeah.
It's
nice and lightweight.
Glad I bought it. That foam board is a really solution. Home Depot solution. And she has a really bright nail polish. And just get a little bit of brighter red on her nail. Oh. There is another hand, but it's showing just a little bit, not much. I don't need to be very detailed on it, it's just two fingers. Yeah. See, it's definitely texting. I can see that. And the cell phone, sort of blue gray. I'm gonna mark out the cell phone. You know, I don't have black on my palette. In order to make blue-gray, I'm just mixing green and red. That's gray. So a little bit of green mixed with red, and that's the green. Okay, that's a gray tone for the cell phone. You know, this painting, it was my very first painting planned for this demo. When I heard about this opportunity. This is very first. Then after that, I changed 2 or 3 times the difference. Finally get back to the original.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you're overthinking sometimes. Right. So that one would be better, but after all, I decided this one is the right one for the demo. And you know, cell phone is the metal, and it has a sort of kind of shiny portion of it, like that. We can mark out that glossy part of. Right. Fun to make your own gray, mixing up opposite colors. Red and blue. All right. So now I'm just gonna touch up her pants that are really, she's wearing really dark pants. And that's gonna be probably the darkest value on this thing. They're practically black, her pants. And because I don't have black on my palette, I'll just mix up red, green, phthalo green and a crimson. Yeah.
Perfect.
Red brown. Then maybe ultramarine blue. That's going to be practically black. Then it's going to be here, the darkest, right next to the poodle.
Is the poodle white?
Poodle is white with the gray spot on his back, and bright pink tail. You know, it's a
fashion statement.
fashion statement. Yeah. I've seen a couple of times dogs with paint.
Yeah.
Did you?
In Carmel, they have a poodle parade.
Well, yeah.
Once a year. Have you seen that? Oh my God. Some of them are multicolored. Some of them are made to look like lions or other pandas, you know. Very cool.
I'm wondering what animal rights activists
I
about
know.
that. Isn't it kind of animal abuse? It's not natural for them. It just owners do it for themselves.
Of course. Do you remember Sally Raphael? What was her name? She wore the red glasses, talk show host. Sally Jesse Raphael. Is that, am I right?
Sounds right.
Does that sound? So she just needed red glasses. That's who she looks like.
Okay, you know Elton John.
Oh, even better.
He always wear all kind of glasses, right glasses.
Dmitry, you never use black? No, you just make it.
I'm afraid it's too heavy. And it's
Yeah.
too plain.
Yeah.
And it's fun to make it.
Fun to make.
And especially if you're using the colors that are in your painting.
Sure.
Yeah.
You get different shades of black.
Yeah.
It's natural.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, you know, my palette is kind of minimized. There's minimum of colors, not that many.
Yeah, I usually leave all the dark colors at the end. Whatever I have left on the palette, instead of wasting them, just mix and use it.
That's
Oh,
right. That's right.
That amazes how many times you go back to what's on my palette. And it works.
And there is a little bit of highlight on her pants here. It is lighten that a little bit. And also see there is a dark tone here. I definitely want it darker or lighter, but not the same tone. Maybe I'll go darker. See, practically what I need the photograph is just an idea for the painting. So after all, I'm creating something totally different than the image. It's just a kind of material to get some details that might help. And I noticed when I'm following the picture, it never happened to be a successful painting. It just something is not there.
Yeah, I just use the photo as a guide.
Doesn't matter.
I never feel like I have to get it just perfect or right.
Photos are so seldom correct. You're gonna make an intelligent decision about them. Right?
Yep.
Much more enjoyable. You're not so anxious about seeing that picture.
And I multiple times I did painting realistically and then repeat it again, but abstracted. The second one always better when you abstract it and not following exactly. Yeah. I'm still debating to keep it lighter or darker and testing out. I'll try to keep it that way, but we'll see later on.
Yeah, later on.
Yeah, there is another leg that I'm gonna make it even darker. And it's a kind of mixture of burnt amber and ultramarine. That's very dark, deep brown. And yeah, what I learned that making the finishing up the painting, the best way just to completely get everything on it before you make the final decision. Instead of stacking to one place and painting and repainting it several times, you never will figure it out until you get them all placed, all of the colors. Then it's much easier to decide where else to do.
Yeah, I like to block everything in.
Yeah,
Everything is in and together, and then you can judge your,
that's right.
you know, your values, your tones, your colors.
That's absolutely right. And sometimes something that you didn't like at the beginning, at the end, it looks great.
Right. And you could have been painting over and over and over in the same place and missed out on all that fun.
Exactly. And to find kind of losing the interest.
Yeah.
After that. But it's too early to worry. And now to separate the front leg of the back, they're gonna make it just a bit lighter to line it separates.
Does she have boots?
No, she is wearing slippers.
Oh my
Just
goodness.
practically barefoot and slippers. Yeah, I'm just gonna paint her feet and slippers.
So Dmitry, when you put down the original background and you put that pattern, did you like go back and erase the dog and the person?
No, the dog and the figure was already traced in.
Okay.
No, I said, see, they are untouched.
So you just went.
I went behind them.
Okay.
Yes.
Because it looks like such a good match. It's hard to do that.
No, it's just behind. Okay. And the texture that I chose here, it was a pavement made of small bricks, like tiny bricks, like square bricks.
Yeah.
And that reminded me of this kind of diamonds pattern.
And it was the stencil. So you just painted over.
Yeah, I put it over and printed it.
Yeah.
Using big brush.
Did you walk over there with the stencils so that people will actually see them?
Oh,
do you have that stencil?
I'm looking for it. No, I didn't bring it. This one was very similar to that.
And just so the camera can see.
Yeah, it's similar to that. It's not exactly. I put it over and using almost dry brush with a little bit of paint and just tap it over and print it.
Very cool.
Exactly.
And also changing the color. You're not using the same color. See, the color changes. So I put a little bit of purple here, more of the brown. And here a couple of them I just use more white and purple. So to soften it up.
Thank you.
And then your basic swirl pattern, was that painted over the stencil or was it?
No, first I painted the basic color. See, the lightest tone. Yeah, all of the, like that. See, all of the light tones are placed in, and then over it, I might add some more of the texture of stencils in another area. But right now it's hard to say until I completed the figure and the dog, and I look it over again. Yeah. And also I do collage. See, this is a piece was glued on to brighten the color up. I picked some of the colors from my pre-painted rice paper, and I just brighten it instead of painting. I just glue it in.
What kind of glue do you use?
Wallpaper.
Use wallpaper glue. Okay,
yeah.
That's what I was curious about.
It comes in like a half a pound container, and it's runs about for the whole year. Yeah. I think I kind of losing that portion of the leg. It's very dark in it. So the light doesn't really do the judgment of here. So it's still dark. Yeah, that's simple and
Yeah, it's a nice big jump from the background.
oh yeah, yeah. Okay, so now the foot, her right foot is on the highlight. So I'm gonna use yellow, ochre, and white for the right foot, just to bright light leads it up. Just simply two colors, white and ochre. Yellow. This is the light part, and then the shade I'm gonna use burnt sienna. The sharp or heel. You know, it's interesting that the same color from different manufacturers is different. Like I have burnt sienna from one manufacturer and from another one, totally different colors. And I like them both using the same color for different reasons, different areas. And then the front foot is in the shade. Only the toes are on the lid. So toes, they have a little bit of orange, light orange. You know, painting orange, you're choosing between, you have a couple of different red colors, couple of different yellow colors. It's always a challenge. So you're choosing the different combinations. Okay, here all of the toes. I'm just gonna draw the block of them, all four. A little bit too dark. Just get a bit of pink to it. Yeah. The rest of this front foot is in the shade. Very similar to on the face. A bit cooler, darker. Again, burnt sienna, white, and a little bit of grapeseed. My problem is I'm mixing the color on the palette and then take my eyes away and I forgot where I mixed it. I'm losing it. There's so many colors on the palette. You have to do it again. Hard to keep track. You know, but changing the palette often, maybe that's a solution. But I don't do it often. Use the same palette for a couple of paintings before changing it. Until there is no room for mixing at all. And then changing. All right. Okay, here we go. Finally, we go. A little bit of burnt sienna on the side, just to show the shape of the heel. Okay, and the slippers. Now I'm gonna mark out the slippers. I'm using raw umber, they dark. Blue. This is the part that's on the leaf, and the back of them is even darker. There is another one in the back. It's going to be a little bit more muted, little lighter though. And more. You could pair it up here. I have a couple of smudges. I better take care of them.
Yeah, but it's acrylic. You could do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Just white. If nothing else helps, just white. Yeah.
Ta-da.
And, oil and acrylic are forgiving. Watercolor is not. Okay, now let's try to get the poodle. There. The tail would be the last thing to do, of course. You know, the poodle is white, but part of it is in the shade. Maybe I will paint the shade part first because it's sort of light on its own. And in this case, I can use glazing because it's all light. We don't need really to load it. Kind of watercolor way. So a lot of liquid and get that. Now, probably light would be better to start from. You know, it would give me kind of a tone to match to. You get a little bit more of white. I run it out of white. So usually the first color that we run it out of. And I'm buying, this is a Liquitex, the best brand. But I'm not particular about only Liquitex. Sometimes I buy other, but what I'm trying to avoid the Artist Loft. That's the brand that I don't like.
That's not liquid text.
Liquitex.
Liquitex.
T-E-X-T.
Yeah,
Okay.
like latex.
T-E-X.
What's text?
T-E-X.
Okay.
Is this better than Windsor?
They're both good. They're both good. I couldn't tell which one is better. Golden is probably better. Golden acrylic. But these two are good. Golden is probably the most expensive one. You know, if you will have a commission, you can definitely buy gold. If client will pay for that. But on your own, better to use economy one. Economy class. Okay. my guiding image. Okay, so I'm gonna load the brightest white. And it's warm white. Again, I'm gonna compare to her hair. Her hair is a little bit more yellowish. So on the poodle, I'm gonna use more white. White, maybe a little bit of ochre. Yeah, like basically white. In some places, it's a little bit more yellowish. So right here, a little bit more of ochre. And on the tails, it's a really, really bright white. And here you're trying to imitate the fur, so you don't need to smooth it. Just paint it as rough as you can. Just to leave these brush strokes. You can load the paint. Even you can do it off the tube if you want, because acrylic dries as plastic. Never gonna crack or fall. It's heavy, heavy plastic. I went to the show, and you know, there is a museum in Stanford. And there is a show of Asian artists from Korea, all Southeast Asia. And one guy paints oil, just like a relief, like sculptural relief, about inch wide. And in fact, he paints figures, portraits and figures. And he paints everything thin, but somewhere the light lifts it up. He built it up like inch and a half thick. Wow, very interesting actually. You stop by to see it, just amazing, amazing work. And they all live in the United States, but they paint their native motifs, cultural.
Was that at the Cantor?
Cantor, on the second floor, yeah, Cantor. Okay, so now I'm gonna paint the head. There is a ear up here. And it's a free museum. Very nice collection. Okay. Now on the head, color changes. A bit of blue I see on it. That's gonna add just a drop of color in white. And it's a curly shell, so I can try to imitate the curls. And you know, good thing about acrylic, when it's wet, you can even scrape into it to get some texture, like using palette knife. Like that. You want to leave some mud. Create some texture, texture. And I'm really loading the paint, not smoothing it out. Give it a lot of the time. Okay, this is the part on the lid. The rest of it is in the shade. There is a little bit of light on the legs. Let me catch that. A little bit of light on this leg as well. Then I will get a deal with the shades. So I need to decide how does the shade go. Because I have to consider the surrounding colors. I don't want to repeat them the same way. Okay, so now it's time to really decide the shade that I keep thinking of where to go. It's the shade. Are we okay with the timing?
You know, you have a half hour, so you have plenty.
Perfect. For the poodle, small poodle, that's enough. All right. Okay, so because it's kind of cool background behind, I'm gonna go warm. Because originally it's supposed to be cool, but I have a cool background. I better go warm. Maybe using raw sienna and yellow ochre. And use a glazing actually, not really loading thing, but using liquid. So here is space between them. Here's a spot in the back. It's a gray spot. We get a little bit of gray tone up here. That's on the spot. Actually. There. There's a shade of the hair. A little bit of gray, blue gray could be edited up, just like here. Get it a little darker. Here, actually, the reflection of the light on the bottom of the body, I can use really bright white up here. Sometimes you can correct if the line didn't go well. If it's still wet, you can scrape it off and correct.
Oh, pretty good.
Palette knife does work well, but it's only in a minute after
Yeah.
before it dries. If you missed it, that's it. Can do that. Yeah. My main problem now to find the color that fits in because the background is already there. I have to go with it. Can't change it. I could, but I don't want to change it.
It looks perfect. The ears and the snout.
Yeah.
So here, I'm gonna put some
Yeah.
shade. Here it's a muzzle to go a little blood. And definitely I'm gonna have a tip, the nose tip here. Shape of here. Well done. You know, the original watercolor could stay someplace. I don't need really to change it everywhere. Some places could stay. So now I'll take my zero brush and get the eyes and the small things, details. There is a blue that I have. I didn't put it on my palette, but it's called Prussian.
Oh yeah, Prussian blue.
Very nice blue. For some colors, it's the only color that suitable. What about this color for the eye, the outside? Let me check from another side. I'm looking from one side and want to make sure it's in the right place. I'm going to darken it up a little bit around the eye. Kind of warm gray. Get the nose here. To mark the mouth line. Yes, sorry, there. Now the time to get the pink color, the brightest pink possible. I start from that chronocradon pink and adding a little bit of cadmium red light. Somehow it runs into white kind of gradually. It's not just a pink spot, it's just a gradual transition from pink to white. Somehow matches to your coat. The owner's coat. And on the left side, it's just a bright white. This is probably the key of that painting, the tail of the poodle. Without that color, probably won't pass it without noticing more. Fun to work with colors. Somehow on the top, it's kind of an orangey red. The top of the tail. play to get the fur texture. Crazy enough.
Mm-hmm.
And the title on the painting is a pink tail. I probably spend more time on the tail than on anything else.
It's perfect with that pink cutout that you put in.
Yeah, it's half of it.
Yeah.
Half of it pink, half white.
Great. Step back.
Okay. So what else could be done? Like the border between light and shade should go just a bit darker to create the form, talking about how to model the 3D form. We will darken it up here a little bit. We will create that form. That's in order to see the light brighter, I have to darken the shade a little bit. You really want to see the light stronger. Have to darken the shade. So what I do, I just using glazing, little bit of blue over that brown. To brighten the light up just a bit. Get some joints showing on the door slats.
That helped a lot.
Yeah, it does. Sort of structuring it up a little bit. And on the slippers, I missed that part that goes all the toe. I need to mark it. Okay, I'm almost. Okay. Thank you. I'm just wrapping up. We got mail. Okay. Mailman came. I thought he would stop and come in and watch the thing. So the last thing what I'm gonna do is just get that little light blue. And I'm just gonna go over the legs, dog's legs, to get them a bit darker in the shape. The light will stay as it is. Like that. Same up here.
The dog really stands out now against the background. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that's some of the dark, like here it could be a little darker. Or tail could go a little darker. The legs a little bit too skinny. I just gonna redraw it strong. Yeah, and that leg is just a bit too skinny. I guess it's gonna make it a little stronger.
Your dog is so strong.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Standing up on his forelegs. Well.
So what do you think about her profile?
Oh, you know, it needs some definition, and like I didn't finish the nose, for instance. It's just a basic prep work, but see where the nostrils are, I need to get a little bit of darker tone to finish up that form, because it's a view from the bottom up. See, that part is a bit darker. And on the cheek, I can define the cheek a little bit better. Right here. And maybe brighten it up, the light on the nose. It's, from the distance, it's difficult to see.
Yeah.
They just get a little brighter. So,
That little bit helps so much.
and also right under the eye, the cheekbone. Let me highlight it a little brighter cheekbone. That's gonna make it. I'm gonna finish it up at home and I'm gonna post it. Or I'm gonna send it to you to see. Right here at the top of the cheekbone, supposed to be lighter.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What a difference.
Oh, yeah, you know, the thing is, I need to step back.
Yeah.
In order to do it, because standing closely, it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I feel like.
See her up there?
Yeah, I do.
And then, because look at how sharp and crisp. And now we see more of her too.
Yeah. You know what I have to do at home? I have to pick up that color somewhere in the background.
Oh, what
That
am I
red is a
doing?
little bit too isolated. There is nothing,
Oh,
it doesn't have enough support. So I might add a little bit of that color somewhere else in the background. I don't know.
Would you use the stencil to put
Yeah,
other
maybe
color
using
in the background?
maybe using the stencils to add a little bit of that color. Maybe up here a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere.
Oh.
Maybe down there. But somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it's a little bit too isolated. But I like the color itself, so just need some support, balance.
Somehow this got color.
Yes, thank you, really.
That was wonderful to watch.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. See, I spent a lot of time preparing the background.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks. Just
Yeah.
come up with this abstraction. The figure now just a kind of compliment for that. Thank you. Great, I'm so glad that I had a chance to work on it.
Yeah.
Sitting in my studio for a couple of weeks, waiting for that moment. Yeah.
Ah,
I didn't want to spoil it during everything at home.
but you have another painting just like this, right? Is this a, you've already painted this, right? Or no?
Background. No,
Oh,
I never
okay.
painted, just the background was painted.
I thought you were just, I thought you were
No.
repeating something you've already.
You know, I kind of don't do the same thing twice.
Follow him on Facebook, you get to see all this.
Oh, Sharon watches all of my things.
I know.
Yes.
She's my first, rescue,
Yeah.
checking on.
That's the reason to join Facebook.
It is, I don't post like personal stuff
Yeah.
myself, I post either my art or my travels.
I'm gonna show you something.
Okay.
Just for a second. It's a portrait that I done a couple of years ago of one girl. It was turned out as a commission. I didn't plan it as commission, but
Exactly, you don't have to.
So, excuse me, let's just say thank you very much, and we'll,
I'm sorry. Thank
thanks a lot for coming over.
thank you.
I'm gonna have to.
Not a problem. Check
It's
it.
on my desk and I go, oh crap, I forgot to bring it with me, so I'll just mail it.
I thought it's total volunteering, I'm okay with
That's okay.
it.